Welcome to the Paranormal Nut Podcast. I am your host, Sean, alongside Jim.
Hey, guys.
Today we have a great episode. This is one I've been wanting to do for a while. I held off because I wanted to make sure that we had the expertise and the experience to kind of get into these things. But we're going to be talking about the various paranormal pieces of equipment we have. So I think we're going to start it off with one of our favorite tools to use, one of the most known, and I think that's going to be the Rempod.
If I have found you up here.
Let me reset that.
You didn't turn it on. There we go.
Oh, you can set yourself
Oh.
down. Oh, okay. Maybe it wasn't just going off to go off.
Okay, it's touching it.
Can you step back from the light? Thank you. That was fun. Do you want to do it again? Ready to talk about the Rempod a bit?
Rempod are signed by the Ghost Hunters Rempod,
Yep.
actually.
So our Rempod is better than your Rempod.
Exactly. All right, so let's start out. So the Rempod, I would say, is like one of the most useful tools that a ghost hunter is going to have in their arsenal. So you got the antenna on the components of the Rempod. You're going to have an antenna on it, and that emits a electromagnetic field, and then it also contains sensors to detect disturbance in the field. Then there's also LED lights off. I mean, they all the Rempods vary different with the color to color. What means what? So you'd have to look at the Rempod you actually got.
Mm-hmm.
It also produces an audio alert when something changes in the field.
That's that classic beep that is burned into your head. If you've ever watched any of our videos or any other Ghost Hunters videos, just beep, 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 beep.
Or the ghost laughs at you in Rempod.
In Rempod.
Morse code.
Or Morse code, yeah. The biggest thing about the Rempod is its biggest critique is that all it is doing is measuring disturbances in an electromagnetic field. That necessarily is not paranormal, right? So you do have to watch out for walkie-talkies that are emitting radio frequencies and things like that. You have to watch out for any sort of magnetic fields that might be playing against the any other electromagnetic fields that may be playing against it. And really anything going by that antenna can cause it to go off, so a bug maybe. So these are things you have to keep in mind when you're using the Rempod. So obviously you want to make sure you're eliminate as much contamination from the site as possible. You want to make sure you know where all your power lines are. And this is similar for a lot of other instruments as well. But those are the biggest mistakes I see a lot of people using with the Rempod, and just things to keep out for. So that's our Rempod, and again, ours is better than yours because it's signed by TAPS. We got that signed at Penhurst Paracon 2024, which you're all familiar with by now. We've gone to and we made a bunch of videos on it. The next piece of equipment I think we're going to go and talk about is probably the most classical piece of paranormal equipment. Is just an EMF detector. Or sorry, not EMF detector. It's just an EVP, right?
Hi, my name is Jim. What is your name? Is anyone here with us currently? We have my friend Sean here.
My name is Sean.
Are there any patients down here? Is there anything inhuman down here?
I hear growling.
Yeah.
What was your favorite activity to do in this area?
Yeah. I heard something. I don't know if it was growling. I didn't press this one. I'll restart it.
Is there anything inhuman down here?
all an EVP is just a microphone. Um, they vary because between the various sensitivities you can do, and you get the file, you can enhance the audio, but essentially power source, microphone, and then you can change you have a playback feature so you can quickly play it back and listen to it. And this is great. Obviously, sound contamination is a big thing, right? If I have the microphone here and I scratch my beard, it's going to pick up me scratching my beard, or rustling a jacket, or piece of cloth or fabric that's very noisy. Things like that you have to keep in mind when you're talking, when you have this playing. Generally, you want to give the spirits enough time to answer any questions. Um, with that, we generally go for 5 to 10 seconds, and that gives plenty of time for any entity to muster up any words. Again, this is just a microphone.
It's a very useful tool though out there. I mean, we've got some great EVPs out in the field.
I mean, as you saw by the video that played, it's you can get some very chilling stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll move to the next piece of equipment, which is going to be the one that I dread the most, only because of its complexity in the technological field, if you will. Jim, do you want to talk about the SLS? Jim, do you want to talk about that in more detail?
Yeah, we got the SLS. So basically, it uses infrared lights to see what we can't see, and it uses I wouldn't say AI system, but it builds like stick figures when it sees something like almost human. I mean, we've seen animals on it before. We saw a dog at Penhurst on it.
Yeah. And there's like a depth grid in there.
Yeah, it's got a depth grid. It's all you can choose between 2D and 3D. In the 3D, it's all black and white. In the 2D, it's all like I think that's more like the infrared camera.
So the biggest thing and my biggest gripes with it is that it's from the Xbox Connect software, which is no longer supported. So we've had a lot of issues, and we've caught a lot of things on it that we can't record. So we're in the process of just finding another way to screen record or just have a camera record. It's a lot of, it's very complex. It's not something for your novice paranormal investigator to really get into, unless you're a techie. Yeah. If you're a techie first, do that. You'll probably get it and understand it more.
It's taken us a little bit of time.
Yeah, we're getting used to it.
Letting us down.
Yep. The next piece of paranormal equipment is probably one of my newest that I just got recently. You can find this at GhostStop. They are a wonderful supplier of paranormal equipment. Is the Flux 2. Say, oh yeah, when you said it's red. Are you draining our devices right now? Okay. Hello. I think we found you. Did you just pull some energy from us to communicate through the devices? What the Flux 2 is, it is a motion sensor rig that is twofold. You have one side and the other side. Now, anytime you hear a sensor, you have to ask, what is it sensing? This does send out a infrared light that bounces back, and that's how it detects if something's coming in, if that infrared is disturbed. Now, this has various proximity settings, and it can go from about a foot away, 6 inches, I think, all the way up to 4 or 5 feet around. I keep it very tight. That way I know if something's crossing the path, it's very intentional. So I usually use it on the zone 1. You will notice I will knock GhostStop. My little knob fell off my first investigation. So it's really supposed to look like this. But I drop it once and this thing broke off. But it still works. I can still turn this thing on. And there's the blue light. And when it sets its zone, right, I will set it very low. Green's the lowest zone. And then when it settles out, oh, And you saw by the clip, or you will see by the clip, how interesting these can be.
We've definitely gotten a lot of good evidence out of them.
Yeah. I do now, it senses infrared. I've actively tried to prevent pointing any infrared lights at it. So, obviously you have your sensor here. I try to have any infrared camera or coming from this way or whatever. I know the prox is very small, but I try to make sure that I'm not directly beaming infrared light into the motion sensor.
So we have a controlled environment.
Exactly. Again, controlled environment, knowing what is going on in the space around you is the most important part of being a paranormal investigator.
That is very true. Keeping an eye on the small things.
Yep. All right. And, another paranormal classic, if you will, paranormal investigator classic, is an EMF detector.
Electromagnetic field. As you can see, there's no electricity in this area. So if we do pick something up, I just picked something up right now.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, 47, 47, 44.
45?
As you guys can see,
Gone?
gone.
Oh, hold up. You don't have a watch on, right?
No watch.
Let's see. Step back.
It's at the.
Hold up. It's right here.
It's right here.
Wow, okay. Starting off shot. We use this one. I can't remember the brand. But it's a pretty solid device. What it does, it detects electromagnetic fields. So I don't have the Rempod here, but I could, if I turn that on, I could sense the electromagnetic field. So how you want to use this is you turn it on, and then you're going to get your baseline for the various. Let's see if I can pick up anything from my camera. Not really. It gives you temperature. You can't see it, but down here
It'll pick up on your computer.
Yeah, there's a few spikes up, but yeah, it will sense in a few different ranges. You have your magnetic field, and then your volts over. I forget what the actual electronic is about it. Let's see.
Is that the milligauss?
Yeah, the milligauss. You
And
have
then,
your ELF, your
micro
RF.
Tesla.
Yeah. The milligauss and the micro Tesla, the MG and the UT. They typically light up an alarm if they go above a certain whatever. You can set that threshold.
I know mine goes off when it goes over 40 micro Teslas.
Yeah.
And then it's like 4 or 5 milligauss for mine.
So I like to consider this like, okay, where do we start investigating, right? I pull this out, and then we get all the other equipment out around that area if it starts pinging.
It's like tracking and hunting.
Scouting is another word for it, I suppose. Yeah. All right. And then, again, I think this is your newest paranormal piece of equipment, the Ovilus.
Yeah.
Tell him to use the pod.
Use the pod.
If you want us to stay, press the red light. Stars? Wagon? Oh, do you mean like the bright light on the cars? Do you not understand what a car is?
Actually.
Star wagon, like a light.
Yeah, because there have been a lot of cars driving by.
The Ovilus.
The
Ovilus. It comes in this fancy case by GhostStop. That's who we got it by, GhostStop.
Affiliate link down below.
Affiliate link below. We
Great people. We met the GhostStop people at the one guy's
Paragon.
name was Sean. I remember that because obviously my name is Sean. They are very good salesmen too, though. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's very easy when they're selling all the things I want.
Exactly. Walked up. I was like, "Is that the Ovilus?" He's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I'll take it."
It's like, say no more.
Say no more, fam. So here we go. The Ovilus. I'll turn it on right now. So you get this screen right here. So this is the basic settings. So what we like to use, we go in there, we hit ABC, and so basically the spirits will push through. It does have a word bank in it. It's
Yep.
like 2,000 words. Basically, the spirits can put their energy into it and push words out. So like if you hold it to, it's like in calibration mode, it will start going crazy and start what that probably doesn't mean anything. So basically, I was saying the spirits push the words through. When we used it in the field, there's I mean, we were very skeptical at first, honestly. Um, but after going to different locations and it being having saying stuff that was very relevant to the place that it was in.
Yeah. We won't give too much away, but we have a video coming.
Away. Yep.
The preview you saw was from Powers, and that I would say we got some pretty. It was calling employees out by nicknames.
Yeah.
So we'll dive into that when that episode comes out, but it gets hyper specific. I think the biggest thing with this is right. It takes in like how the ghost interacts. I'm not 100% sure. I can't find exactly how, but they say there's sensors. I think they might be EMF detectors or temperature sensors or something around those lines. So stuff that spirits have been known to manipulate, and they use an algorithm based off of the various things the spirit's manipulating to put out certain words. So I think what I think happens is a ghost starts playing with it and trying to find the words. So you might get a lot of randomness at first, but it seems the longer you use it, the more
in tune
the spirits know how to use it. I'm not 100% sold on it, but there are some pretty specific moments that are hard to explain.
My opinion on it, I think it'll randomly put stuff out. I mean, if it hasn't put anything out for a while, but I mean, at the same time, I think it does. I think it actually works. I think it does put out specific things of the specific area, right?
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when there's no activity, so it'll just anything like kind of like the false positives with the Rempods or the EMFs. I think sometimes it just sends a word out, a signal, because it senses something, but there's nothing there.
All right, and then I guess we will end it. Obviously, that we have a different we have various amounts of tools, and we're not going to go over all of them like a cat ball and stuff like that. Maybe we will at a later date, but the most.
Oh yeah,
that we're getting there. We're getting there. The problem we joke about it. We call it our money box because it does provide us probably the most active responses and stuff. Jim, do you want to talk about the spirit box?
The spirit box.
Did your family love you? Oh, well, you redacted it. I asked that.
That's kind of mean.
Yeah, that is. Did you love your family?
Rude.
Rude? I was rude. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That was asking for you.
Is there a way I can make amends? Jim, how about you ask some questions?
Do you want me to ask you questions because he's rude? Please. All right.
Dramatic noise.
Dramatic noise.
We need a sound box.
So the spirit box uses radio waves. You can put it on FM, AM, and then it just skips through each station, picking up. Basically, the spirits use it to push words out as well, because it's not similar to the Ovilus, but
they're using the white noise, right?
Yeah, they're using the white noise to push words out.
Or they're using direct words from radio stations.
Yeah, like, and when you're out there, you can really tell the difference between what's a spirit and what's a radio. Because like if you hear like kind of like a song in the background, you're like, oh, okay, that's just picking up. Radio chat.
And there are schools of thought that the spirit isn't strong enough to emit its own word at that point, so it just substitutes whatever it hears, like a radio broadcast or something, And
Yeah.
that's when you get something that's like not directly what you said, but it's close, and you have to do a little mental gymnastics to get where you need to go,
Oh yeah.
which always is
Like-
not the best, but there are times when you literally are having like conversations fully, and if you watch their videos, you've known at Penhurst, at
Penhurst.
Sachs Bridge, things would
Orphanage.
just talk to you in real time, this is the biggest thing. You're talking with a ghost in real time, opposed to an EVP, where the whole process can be like 30 seconds, then you listen back, then 30. So you're like breaking up the conversation, and it's like I picture it, or I kind of envision it as if you're like talking to someone in a different language, and you have to use like an app, and like so you say it, they don't understand what you say, the phone does, and you hand it to them, and they look at it, and they go, oh, okay, and they speak back. That's like the digital voice recorder, right? Opposed to the spirit box, which just literally just you say something and the ghost says something right back.
Oh yeah. Penhurst is a great example
Yep.
of that.
Notable things I want to get in the future: dowsing rounds. I do want dowsing rounds. I think they're very interesting and they're very unique. Things I don't want and I will never use: a Ouija board. I think messing with opening portals, whether you're doing it knowingly or unknowingly, is not a good thing to do. So we'll never do that. But you see other paranormal investigators use them. You see all the tropes and stuff. So I'm never going to use the Ouija board. Jim might one day, but I'll leave the room. And I'll yell at him for it. Jim, do you have any things?
I've had too many demons in my life.
Yeah. Do you have any paranormal pieces of equipment that you really want and ones that you'll never use?
All right, it's a spirit box, but it's the Pro, SB7 Pro. I've been eyeing it up. It's on GhostStop. Wait, is it GhostStop? Yeah, I think it's GhostStop. They have it there. Been eyeing it up. I'm just like, because basically what that does, it gets rid of the white noise that you hear, and it can play both AM and FM at the same time going through the stations.
I believe you can bundle it with the Estes Method kit with the blindfolds and the sound canceling headphones.
That's not the SB7. That's just a regular spirit box.
Well, I think you can do it both.
Oh yeah.
I think right now you can bundle it. I don't know.
Yeah, they
offer may not be good by the time video's out. I don't know.
Have you been hearing about the Portal? It's like basically a guitar amp, or is it an amp?
I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about.
They were said that it was Paranormal Theory was selling it at Paracon.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a lot of. It seemed like a Frankenstein version of like all of these pieces of equipment.
It's so basically, I was looking it up. You plug your spirit box in inside. Well, at least the one I was looking at. You plug your spirit box into it, and it basically clears all the white noise, and it goes over the amp. So and it plays like when it only lets the voices through, or like words through.
That's better because then that that removes that. I forget the effect. I think it might be in my notes somewhere. No, I don't have it. But it's the pareidolia, right? I think that might remove the pareidolia effect, right? Where you're hearing words that aren't there. Because if it's removing the white noise and it's only allowing like something that gets above the white noise through, then there's clearly an audio spike and there's clearly something there.
Yeah.
Opposed to you hearing and you go, oh, is that someone saying, Chili's baby back ribs?
Is that a horse?
Or is that a horse?
Now, you were saying my least favorite.
Yes, your least. Or what piece of equipment will you not use?
We will never buy a music box. Ever. Sean.
Ever. I hate
never.
Music boxes.
I hate music
It's actually
boxes.
funny. Want to know why it's funny? Because I have a music box. It's not a paranormal one. It's a Jurassic Park one, and I bought this at like a fair.
See, that's a cool music box.
Right? I will never bring this on a paranormal investigation because Jurassic Park holds a special part in my heart, and I don't need it to interfere with the evils of the world. And while my music box plays it off, I think that's when we'll wrap up the episode for today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. We love you. And stay tuned. Stay crazy.
Love you guys.